Chamberlains. Hey guys, it's your girl, your sister, your cousin, your friend, Mikal, and the sound, the beautiful sound that you hear playing behind me, well, that's the voice of our special guest today, Miss KASHINA Simmons. Come on in as we talk about kingdom, of course, purpose, and as she shares her very powerful personal testimony of transitioning out of the world and from the grasp of the enemy into the hand and the heart of her king. Come on in, bring your popcorn, bring a friend, get a pen. It's time for Chamber Revelations. Praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Chamber Revelations. I know we've been a little, we've been away for a while. I've missed you guys. There's been so much going on. Of course, we had our 8-night Passover to Promise special with my mom, Pastor Patricia Gomez. But now we're back to our regular scheduled program. And of course, we're bringing you wonderful kingdom builders from all walks of life. I hope that you guys are continuing to be inspired, continue to inspire each other. Today, we have a special guest joining us. She's all the way from, is it Texas? Big city, Texas. I see. Her name is KASHINA Simmons today. Just welcome her to Chamber Revelations. Welcome, KASHINA. Sorry, I've been doing so much today, and sometimes we try to squash everything into one, but I'm just so excited just to be back. Chamber Revelations is home, and I hope that you feel at home here today. Just put your hands together, your virtual hands together for KASHINA. We're going to discuss today her single, her new release. I'm so excited to hear about that and about all that God is having her to do in her part of the vineyard. Only old people say vineyard or vineyard. I don't know how. But welcome, KASHINA. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having
me. How have you been during this? I guess some of us are still on lockdown. I'm in Canada, and we are still we're on top of lockdown, Right. Watching from different parts of the world. I know Trinidad is on lockdown again.
Yeah.
There's Jamaica, so you can say hi to all those people. We know we have New York, and we know we have who else is related. We have a bunch of people.
Yeah,
obviously, which is where our connection sort of came from.
right.
Yeah, so everybody's kind of going through. It's a world situation. So how is it affecting you in your, I guess, your part again, the vineyard?
Well, honestly, in spite of all of this, honestly, God has been blessing me in the midst. God has been. I can hear Him clearer. He knows how to put us in a position to be able to hear Him, even through the pandemic. So I mean, it's been rough. My son caught it. My household has gotten it, but even still, he has been. He's been speaking and he's been showing himself out in the midst of this. So I've been well.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that. And that seems to be a common thread, especially among the people of God. Like, this is, as much as it's supposed to be, I guess, what the enemy meant for evil, God has just, all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord, those that are called. Yeah. We hear a lot of that. Like, it's really as bad as it is, a lot of people are experiencing blessings. And I think that has to do with what you've sown in the past, right? If you've sown prayer, you know what I mean? However you sown, God is just like, okay, it's reaping time in a time where it's dry land and things are supposed to be bad as I don't know what, but God is like, I got you. And that is so good. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this. Just
I feel that. Just saying.
Yeah. But I'm glad that you guys are well. I've had some friends and family as well who have been affected by it, and thankfully, they have recovered. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We're praying for the family going through. And God is still a healer. I'm so excited about what we're gonna come out of in this.
Come on. Come on.
Right. So tell me about yourself. Tell us about you. This is my first time actually meeting you in person, hearing your voice. My cousin Desi, and shout out to Des.
Yes. Hello, sweetheart. Such a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's like, girl, you guys are gonna vibe. She
Yes.
reminds me, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Such a good heart. Yeah.
Yeah, she's gold. Yeah, and so I'm, happy. I'm always happy and excited to meet new people and listen to new testimonies, and that is an encouragement and motivation to me, and I know it is to many others as well. So tell us about who is Miss Kashina Simmons, and how did you come to know the Lord?
Well, well, my mom and my grandmother, they pretty much raised us in church, but I wasn't always singing about God being my everything. I've come from a rough place, and it's out of rebellion, not because, you're about choice.
Yeah.
I've come from a rough place. I was a stripper working in strip clubs,
Nah.
started yeah, at the age of 17, I was selling cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
I was, in gang fights, all these crazy things going up. So I've come from, a really rough place. But it was when, one day I had to look in the mirror, even at the place in the strip club. I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is, you know.
This is
Well,
relations, honey. Let's go.
exactly.
You're
I
right.
had to look at myself in the mirror, and I just knew that it was something bigger and it was something different. And God just began to pull on me. And I began to go to church, and then I began to sing in the choir. And it started with Pastor Mary Robeson. I started by singing I've Got the Victory. Uh, I grew up singing in the church, but I mean, when I got back to the church, it's like she used to have me sing the same song over and over and over. I'm like, why do I keep singing the same song? But while that was happening, things were being peeled off of me until I began to feel convicted. And, and just listening to his word is really sharper than a two-edged sword. It will really convict you. If you really listen to it and eat it and take it in, it will really do something to you. And so, I knew he was calling me, from the strip club to the church, from entertaining those to entertain, to be, to do things for the kingdom.
The whole alabaster box experience. Totally. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
So you had that prodigal son, prodigal daughter, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Definitely. So would you say, so you were even though you were in the strip club, you started to go to church, and then gradually you're still doing your thing, and then but singing about the victory, I guess gradually coming out of that. Did you want to come out of that right away, or you I just need to have a relationship and connect with God? I want to make my little money on this side, and then how was that transition for you? Was it easy or?
Honestly, the transition was not easy because I had to literally, just like when God had to rescue the Israelites out of, Egypt, he had to kind of change their mind from that mindset. Yeah. And so when the transition was taking place and I became what they call a square and making money, it was like, okay, I can just go drop this and do that because, this is not doing anything for me. So I had, it was like, it was a pull, but I had to learn how to trust God, just like the children of Israel had to learn how to trust God. We don't have to be in situations and issues longer than what we've been in them. But when we start learning to trust God, we will get to that place. And so that's what happened. He just began, just by way of his word. Honestly, the word of God saved my life. His word is really powerful because I began to eat it and eat it and eat it. And then slowly the conviction became so strong because I've watched how in the word of God, how he says that his children would always rebel after he rescued them out. I didn't want to be that. I don't want to be the one to keep asking God to help me out of a situation. And then I keep going back once he do it. I just say, I want to be different. I don't want to do that. I really want to do what you want me to do, Father.
Yeah. Wow. It really is it's difficult because when you don't have to depend on anybody to make your own way, and then now you have to go to a place where, Lord, I don't even know if I can get a job, and if that job is paying to sustain the life that I have created for myself, and then how it's because you'd be now battling with your ego, with your pride, and then your peers, and all
Yeah.
of that. So to come out of that, it's really just the grace of God. And I can see why your pastor probably had you singing the same thing when it made no sense.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
until,
true.
until breakthrough. So when
Yeah.
did you finally make that decision? Do you remember the day? Do you remember how? When?
Mhm. I remember the day where it was a revival going on. It was at Latter Day Prayer Band Ministry, and I decided to skip. It was, I think, like it was a few nights of the revival, and I remember I chose not to go one night because I needed to make some money. And I remember when I left, instead of going that way to the church, I was going another way and ran right into a tree. And when I ran into a tree, there was a branch that could have came through my window and got me, and that really startled me. But it kind of gave me, a wake up call.
Mhm.
And then, like, little by little, God would send, people my way with the message of an angel, just drawing me near. And that's when I just decided, I just didn't want to, do this anymore, and I just decided to dedicate my life. But it takes time and it takes process, because I went through many things after that. But
Yeah.
it's just we just have to decide, we just have to make up in our mind that we want to do it, and just allow him to take us through the process. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That is amazing. Oh my God. We definitely have to I hope there's a book or something coming out after this, because that is huge. What am I
There
thinking this? Yes.
there
Girl, write it. And then come back right here. And we're gonna talk about it because that's huge. Listen, there are a lot of people because they're trying to make I don't think I think sometimes, especially because I grew up in church, sometimes you don't see that side of it, right?
right,
Like you said,
right,
you didn't have to maybe you did it by choice, and then there are those that didn't have a choice as far as they
right,
could, right? Because they grew
right,
up in an environment that they had to provide. Mama didn't have it, daddy didn't have it, and somebody gave them this opportunity and come make this. And sometimes they know in themselves, they hear that call or they just don't know. I don't think I could go before God, or I don't know how to make that exit from here. Yeah.
hmm,
So I think it's really good for people to see and hear that it is possible, and it doesn't matter who,
yeah,
doesn't matter when, doesn't matter how, but God is able to do it. Just all he needs is a yes, and then
yeah.
he'll take care of it.
That's it.
And it's a journey, right? Would you say that it's been I think you kind of alluded to that just now, um by saying it hasn't always, it's been rough. So
Yeah,
it's not necessarily like we're coming out, and we teach that, right? We
yeah,
that kind of mentality. Like as soon as you come to Christ, everything's gonna be beautiful. God's he's gonna double that amount of money that you were making in the first place selling that crack, girl. It's true.
right,
I've spoken to I have like different people that I've spoken to, and they had made a living like that, and they were saying that, like you said, um coming away from that kind of quick easy
yeah,
kind of money to come
right,
and then have people tell you, can you come and sing to my church for that's we're doing it for money, but you understand that sometimes that's the only way. You understand, even just to go to work at a fast food, and then like you're trying to make your money honestly, but have
right,
people talk to you a certain way, and so it's a whole, like, you really have to be transformed. It's a journey,
yeah,
and of course
yeah,
you're gonna, besides that, the financial factor, there is the just the human nature, where you're going to fall, and you're going to have say things that you don't mean, and you're going to say things that don't align with you. You're going to doubt, you're going to question God, you're going to be mad. These things, I mean, journey wise, I don't know how
yeah.
it's been for you in terms of from where you were then, from the time you said, okay, God, yes, and now how much you think you've grown. How long ago was that though? How long ago was that for you?
This was about 8 years ago.
Wow. Come on,
Hmm.
Jesus. Nobody, girl, according to what did they say? You don't look like what you've been through.
Yeah,
God is.
Yes, I thank God for it because I tell you, I've been through some things, you know.
Mhm.
I've been through some things, but no, I've come a long way and I've learned a lot. And I say, if I knew now what I know now, if I knew that then, things would have been different. But the process, I thank God for the process, even if the time that I gave up on him and went back, and times that I just, let go, because, I had to learn how every time I went back, I learned why I should never do that. So
Mhm.
I thank God even for the process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because God has shown me what it's like to be unfaithful and showed me what it's like to be faithful. And I'd rather choose the narrow road of
Mhm.
faithfulness. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because yeah, he's doing great things. He's doing great
Yeah. It it
things.
was necessary.
It was necessary.
Yeah. Everything, especially when your heart is for God, I don't care where you are at and how many mistakes you make. I believe that all of that is a part of who God is
Yeah.
making you to be. And if some of the things that we didn't, if we didn't fall and we didn't have the mistakes, we wouldn't see. Sometimes God allows things so that certain things come out because we're like, oh, I got it all together. I'm over
Yeah. Yeah.
it. And then someone steps on you too, and you're like, explode. And you're like, oh, all right, I think I have to yield. I might have to put that down.
Right. That's the way it is.
Oh, but it's amazing. Like your song is called My Everything, and I can kind of see that kind of, but it's clear why that has to be that has to be a mantra. That has to be your heart. That has to be your what do they do? They put it on your wall everywhere you go, on your heart, on your head, on your
That's
hand.
my theme song right there.
Everything, yeah. And
Yeah.
did you write this song, your song, My Everything?
Yes, I wrote the song, but then my producer added to it. Brandon Walton, he's an amazing producer, so we collabed with that. And I mean, when he showed me, some ideas with him, like, oh yeah, so we
Nice.
go.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, me and him, there's the chemistry when it comes to that is amazing.
That is
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah, because originally it sounds I wrote another one similar to that, and when he put his spice on it, it just really it did, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, my everything that's the reason why my everything was created, because through it all, he's been my everything. I don't need the strip clubs, I don't need this, and I don't need that. I just need him. He is my everything.
beautiful, beautiful. I love
Yeah.
it. And so you're a worship leader at your church?
Yes, I've been a worship leader. I've since I was a little girl. I've been, singing leads or whatnot. But yes, even now, right now, since the pandemic, I have been outside of the four walls.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, doing what another ministry that God has called me to do, and that's evangelize. So yes, that's what's going on right now.
You're just growing from glory to glory. God is just doing what He's doing. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what, because you might think, I love how God does that, and you're like, okay, I found what I'm supposed to do, and then boom.
Oh, tell me about it.
This point is just about being flexible. Okay, so the day you want me saying, all right, and then the enemy thinks, okay, I got her in the worship corner, and then goes like, okay, she's a wild card, I got you, and then
Yeah.
you're in another corner doing something else. That is amazing. Yes, and so I read in your bio that you do, I believe, ministry with struggling moms, or is it single moms?
Yes, single moms, struggling moms, women. My ministry is Rise Up Woman, sisterhood. It's we just that's my baby right there, because that came about when I was going through some, like, mental battles,
Mhm.
struggling and trying to stay right, and and my struggle, how I've overcome things. I kind of pour that into women that going through similar
Yeah.
situations, So that's what Rise Up Woman come about. People are like, well, why woman instead of women? Because I'm talking to you.
Yes.
I'm talking to the woman.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is more direct. That is wisdom.
Yeah,
That's brilliant. That is brilliant, because you'll get my attention when you say rise up women. I feel like you're pulling on something. Sorry.
exactly.
pulling
Exactly.
pulling something out of me. And
Exactly.
yeah,
For,
yeah.
yeah.
And so how long has that been
For
in
2 years. Yes, I've been doing it for 2 years. This year, we just started the Feed the Homeless program where we go out into certain areas and feed the homeless. And then also the Moms Helping Mom program. We call it the Moms Helping Mom. You know, I remember, and not to make a long story short, but but I remember when I used to walk around the neighborhoods and I would see certain mothers, struggling and children, it's just I would hate that, and that stuck with me. Even when I became a mom, I know how I am about children. I know how I am about my children, and when I needed help, I would really wanted to help. And so all the time, people are not there to help you. People are judging you because you either having too many babies or whatever. They're not helping. So the Mom Helping Mom program, we provide we receive donations and then go out and provide who the mom that needs clothes, shoes,
yeah.
milk, whatever it is. We don't want to see no woman with no hungry babies
Come on.
or no kids that don't have kids
Yeah.
shoes on their feet, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That is so I mean so much I can say about that because it's like a lot of times God brings us out of certain things or shows us certain things, and our hearts are bended. We're like we feel sorrowful and but we don't really do anything about it, and or we don't really empower people. Okay, so I give you a shoe and I give you, but I don't really, I encourage and I say, you know what, God bless you. Or I just pray for you and I leave it there and I don't do any more than that. But Moms Helping Moms is empowering other women to
Yeah.
empower women. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to leave them unable to help themselves. And you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That example. Because even as we say struggling, we still want to empower by saying, you know what, it's tough now, but it's not always gonna be, it's not always gonna be this way. You're just in the middle of
While at the same time encouraging the women to rise above poverty, rise above the mental illness, rise above all of that, because you can, because you're already a winner. God said it. God said you're victorious already. That's the thing, to try to help them see that.
Yeah, changing the way they see perception. Because sometimes you get taught certain things by not just people telling you, but by environment and thinking that's all I have to get we're not hating on our brothers, but sometimes we feel, especially when we're in a situation like we have children and stuff, you have to get another man or somebody to help support you. It might be a bit more work, but you could do it without, you know what I mean?
You can do it. That's right.
And you just want to make that, you want to think that you can do it on your own. You want to empower you. That's really, really, and that's in your area. What area are you in exactly?
Houston. It's all around Houston. We will go where you're at, but we like to have meetings. We'll be at a park just learning and talking and studying. We'll go out to eat, just try to, encourage one another, keep each other lifted up. Yeah.
Cool. So what we'll do, some of your details, obviously we'll put your details in the description, so people that are in that area, or if you want to help, come alongside, ask for, I don't know if you have Cash App, Western Union, whatever, say I'm going to send and sow a seed, because we're home and we are absorbing from everywhere and sometimes using this opportunity not to give and not to bless. So if you want to sow a seed in this ministry, I implore you, I encourage you, do it. This season is sow season. Sow somewhere, whatever you're doing, sow somewhere. And this is good ground, fertile ground. Amen. We see that from just her brief testimony, how far God has brought her from. And so we definitely want to sow into this ministry. All right, so you've told us. So I was going to ask, kind of going back to the worship factor, right?
Okay.
Because your song is a bit of a bop. I was like, hey.
Yeah.
But so from like worship to, because it's more, would you say it's more R&B? It's more urban type gospel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how did you make that transition? Because I know as a singer, sometimes it's hard to go from like, I worship you, to be like, oh, you know what I mean? So was that easy for you? Is that more of your musical style, or what would you say your musical style is?
Really, I'm versatile. I can do you know, whatever. As a little girl, I've been writing all kinds of songs. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you know, it really doesn't matter. I know my everything is urban gospel, but it's feel good because it's sometimes we're like, you know, we're in a good mood and we're like, oh, God is my everything, you know, oh, God is my everything. Some people have swag just by nature. And you know, so it's just expressed of, you know, my joy, my happiness, and I'm happy when I hear it. And you know, it's just I hope, you know, everybody can enjoy it, but I make all kinds of music and there is more to come.
Forward to it.
Different styles of gospel, but I'm versatile. Yeah.
I love that, and we are looking forward to it. Definitely. Would you say then that your demographic or the people that you're trying to reach are more young people, or well, obviously, if it's you say you have a wide, so I'm guessing everybody. But who would you say you feel more called to?
I believe I feel called to whoever can relate to it, you
Mhm.
know, whatever's put out and whoever can relate to it. I don't feel like it's just
Yeah,
one side. But you know, God is, you know, God has been blowing my mind lately. I don't know what he's doing because like people
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, but the younger generation has to cling on to my everything more than anything now. Hey, you know, that's why I say there's more music I'm gonna put out. So I feel like I'm just called more
Yeah, yeah.
to
And
yeah,
working with different people, I see that.
yeah,
I see that.
yeah. Because I still love me some Shirley Caesar now, you know. I say, listen, I'm John P. Key. I'm still
Talk that talk. I love it. Yeah. A lot
yeah.
of young people, I understand that you might be lost at this point. Google it, YouTube it.
Hey, you
Thinking,
know,
I don't care what they say. Hezekiah Walker, all those. That's good stuff. That's
yes, for sure, for
those
sure.
are the foundations of gospel music, right?
Yeah.
And storytelling and all that kind of stuff. That is awesome. So I'm going to. I don't want to end this because it's going so well. It's going so well. And I'm so glad to finally, meet you. And I hope that I don't hope, but I believe that more doors unexpected, and as you make yourself available, God's just going to direct. As much as you say, okay, yes, I don't know, I don't even know, but I'm going to say, just going to continue to say yes, because you pulled me out thus far, and as you gave God your yes, God's just going to continue to direct you and show you exactly where he wants to, you know what I mean? And this might
Right.
just be, you might say, okay, singing, but it's just the opening of a door to exactly where God is taking you. And
Yep.
music is that key. Sorry, I don't mean to go on to the prophetic. And
Oh no,
but
I'm
yeah,
receiving.
music is God because you have so much ministry. I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited. With God
Yeah.
bless. All right.
Yeah.
So here's how I usually. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Here's how I usually end my
Okay.
interviews.
What are you guys?
Just give me a slap. I'm sorry. Um, so this is Chamber Revelations, and it's a place where we want to encourage wherever you are to get into your chamber. If it's in your car, just that private time with God, right? And if you just so when you need, what is your go-to song whenever you want to get in that place and that space? I mean, it's hard to ask because you're a singer, a musician. So, and I know sometimes it could be one week my favorite song is this, and then 2 hours from now it's so
My go
what would you say is your go-to worship song? And don't just say it, you have to sing it. You can sing a line or two of that song.
okay. Well, I have this that I've actually been singing this. It was in my heart. Um I I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why you chosen me, Lord. But all I know is that I'm willing to do, Lord, whatever you need.
Lord.
So I'll go wherever And that just flowed from my heart for many, many years.
Wow.
Many, many years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Oh, I felt that, sis. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. And that should be our prayer. I pray that whoever's listening, that is, whether you're struggling with, you mightn't be quote unquote as far in or deep in, like some of us have been, or like Kashina has testified. Um, and sometimes we're just in a spot of just a stagnant place, battling between our yes and I don't think I'm able to, or
Mhm.
but let that song minister and move you from faith to faith, from your
Mhm.
yes to another yes, just moving you into a space of willingness. uh,
Mhm.
just go, just go.
Mhm.
It's hard, like some fear sometimes paralyzes us. I've struggled with that. I'm sure you have dealt with the fear of, am I able to do this? Just to start, put out a single. Sometimes some of us, you think it's just easy, one day I get up, I'm gonna, but sometimes it's been 20 years since we're battling to put this one single out or one song
Yep.
out, but just wherever God, at this point, Lord, wherever you lead, I
Wherever you lead, I will go.
will go. All right, Sheena Simmons, I appreciate you. God bless you. I needed this today. I needed this meeting today, again, just to inspire me to go on and do Chamber Revelations. I do not want to cry because this has been that
Mhm.
kind of day. But
Mhm.
thank you so much. May God continue to bless you as we continue to say yes. Continue to say yes, sis. Your yes is
Yes.
changing lives. A lot of things are relying on your yes. A lot of other people's breakthroughs and their
Mhm.
healing, whether it's spiritual, physical, mental, whatever. Your yes. Um, a lot of their life changing experiences relies on your yes. Those of you that are watching, just bless her, follow her. We're going to put all her information in the description. We love you guys. Thank you. This has been Chamber Revelations with Kashina Simmons. Blessings, my dear. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Woosa. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a powerful, that felt like a good conversation with a sister over some soup or something, but it was well needed. I don't know about you, but I needed that conversation. I needed to hear that testimony. And we definitely only, I guess, touched just got a glimpse of tip of the iceberg of how powerful and the depth of this woman. Thank you so much, Kashina. Thank you so much for just sharing a little bit about your gift and your heart. Guys, be sure, not just listen to me saying support, but find a way, search out a way, seek out a way to bless and sow into this woman's ministry and into get the music. I'll be leaving all the information in the description below. Make sure you scroll now. Go. I'm leaving you 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Don't wait. Just go. Search it out. Look for the description. See how you can be a blessing. See what she's about. Follow, like, share her message, right? And then we don't know. Maybe her inspiration will encourage you. Her testimony would be an inspiration to you. And pretty soon you'll be right here with me sharing your powerful testimony right here on Chamber Revelations, where faith is our reality. See you soon. Bye.